What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be introducing a new segment on the channel called Who Do You Support? And today I am here with my friend Ed.
Yo.
Ed, go ahead and give yourself an introduction.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Ed, also go by Words, and I support Bayern Munich, Service Munich.
Okay, as you guys heard, Ed is a fan of Bayern Munich, and I mean, must feel good, right? 8 consecutive titles, 29 total titles.
Yeah.
18 German Cups and 5 Champions League titles as well. So
yeah,
it seems like it's a good time to be a Bayern Munich fan.
It's a great time to be a Bayern fan. It's a decorated franchise. I love it, man. We are who we are, Mia San Mia, all day.
So Ed, first question we're gonna get into today is how long have you been a Bayern Munich fan, and what made you choose Bayern over any other club? Because you know, I would say, at least in the soccer world, we've talked about this before, Bundesliga isn't the most popular league.
Yeah.
So thinking of someone coming into soccer fandom, I think it's rare to see people go straight into the Bundesliga and find a team like Bayern Munich.
Yeah, it definitely is. I would say that my road to the team is unconventional in general. A little background on myself. I'm actually of Dominican descent. I'm from the island of Dominican Republic, and that island itself is not known to be anywhere close to competitive in soccer, nor be fans. You know what I'm saying? It's ride or die for baseball, and then maybe basketball after that, and then that's it. So the way I got into it was because I'm originally from New Jersey, and in New Jersey there's a big melting pot of people, and some of my neighbors and closest friends are from all types of Latin American countries, and right there is where they bleed for their teams.
Yeah, exactly.
So my best friends, they are Ecuadorian, but one of them is a Real Madrid fan, and the other one's an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
So they've been on it since childhood, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about over 10 years or so, and I got into it because of FIFA actually. So the first FIFA I ever played was FIFA 10, so relatively new, and I really didn't know how to play much. I was just a competitive gamer, so I just wanted to beat my friends at a game.
Yeah, different story nowadays, I'll tell you that.
But man, did I fall in love. So I started to really appreciate the sport, and I realized the reason why I wasn't playing well was because I didn't know the sport that well.
Yeah.
So I was like, in order for me to be good at this game, I need to claim a team, and I need to be good at them, good with them. When my boy was like, yo, I'm an Arsenal fan, I was like, all right, fine, then I will pick Tottenham. And I started rocking with Tottenham Hotspur, but you know, it just didn't feel right. So then I was like, all right, let me go to Madrid. And I started playing with Barcelona, but then I was like, I don't want to be a bandwagon.
Yep.
So I didn't do Barcelona. Then I was like, all right, since you guys got England on Smash, and I got, you know, Real Madrid over here, and they got Spain covered, I was like, let me try a different league altogether. So I started playing with Milan a little bit, and that was fun. But ultimately, I tried out Bayern, and it was a wrap.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Robben and Ribéry. And I was like, these guys are my favorite players already. And once I picked up the sport playing FIFA, I decided to watch them in real life to see how they play so I could up my game in the FIFA. And turned out to be the best decision I ever made, man. So my first year following the Bayern Munich was the 2011-2012 season. So it's been 9 years now since I've been a Bayern Munich fan.
So next question I want to get into with you is what is really like the first great memory you have as a Bayern fan?
The first great memory would be the treble, but that's not the first memory. My first memory was Drogba's heartbreak. I was crushed by that. Man, that was so disappointing. I'm kind of like an all or nothing guy, so I consider it basically Champions League or bust from the very beginning, because I consider that to be the major tournament. I knew going into the Bayern fandom that they kind of dominated the Bundesliga, and it was kind of expected for us to win it. So we did win the league that year, but when I decided to watch the Champions League, that was like my first time watching it really as a fan of a specific team, and Man, what a great game.
Yeah,
first and
honestly,
foremost.
incredible game.
That was an awesome game, man. But that was my first heartbreak, and man, just Drogba did us dirty. Nice header from like.
Great header, yeah.
Oh, it was like 15 yards out, dude.
It was incredible, honestly.
Yeah.
Incredible goal.
And then it went all the way out to the PK shootout.
Yeah. For those of you guys that don't know what game he's talking about, that was Chelsea versus Bayern Champions League final. It was incredible game, and I think definitely a great memory, good or bad, on both sides, you know.
Yeah, it was in Berlin.
Yeah.
Which stung a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt really bad, but I felt like, you know, we were so close that I felt like with the right pieces, we can make a real difference. And the next year, that's what they did.
Yeah.
They ended up getting some good players off the transfer market. Shaqiri, Mandzukic, Javi Martinez. I think those were like the main key signings.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
And
big time.
those guys made the difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think obviously, like you said earlier, that next season they brought the treble home, which was Bundesliga, German Cup, as well as Champions League.
Yeah. The
league.
Pokal.
Yeah.
The league.
Good. I mean, just everything, man. Just great season for Bayern that year. As we'll touch on in a little bit here. So yeah, we just referenced the 2012-2013 treble for Bayern. I just want to know, you know, what was your feelings throughout that season as a fan, just from beginning to end?
Yeah, man, I was really confident. just how I am. I really want to say that I believe we're gonna win all the time. And that's my expectations.
Yeah, and it makes sense because, like, I mean, as a fan of a team, you don't want to go into a season thinking, I don't think we're gonna win this. I mean, unless you know your team is either like a mid-table team or like a lower half team.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have a team like Bayern Munich, who is consistently at the top of their game, at the top of their league, obviously with the 8 consecutive titles now, you know, it just shows their dominance, and it's kind of it. Reminds me of PSG in a way, because it seems that they just dominate. They dominate the French league every single year.
Yeah.
So their fans are thinking as well, Champions League or bust. And I think that's why they've dumped so much money into that team. I think Bayern obviously has had a lot more success, seeing as they've won 5 titles. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, I agree. As a fan, you think it's Champions League or bust when you dominate in your league like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of think that a better comparison would actually be something like Juventus, that has the history
true, yeah.
and the dominance in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, sometimes they actually encounter teams that are gonna give them a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like PSG kind of don't have that history. It's more like a money thing, similar to like Man City.
Like City, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that, and their dominance has been because they just really outprice the talent.
Yeah.
As opposed to Juventus and Bayern Munich, where it's almost a rite of passage for an Italian player or for a German player to say, I played for Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a boyhood dream almost.
Yeah. And definitely, like, I see, as for me though, I see Bayern Munich does well with their recruiting. I think they buy smart rather than buy expensive.
But this is about the treble, so the treble, man.
Yeah.
The treble was a highlight of my Bayern career so far.
Definitely. And you know, I think a 2-leg tie that stands out to me in that year in Champions League was the semifinal against Barcelona.
Yeah,
7-0. 7-0 against Barcelona. Yeah. I mean, Messi in his prime. That's I mean, that team, 2012, 2013, for those that you don't know, 2012 was actually the year that Lionel Messi scored 91 goals in a calendar year, something like that. 91, 96 goals in a calendar year, which is, I mean, for one person to do, that's absolutely ridiculous. So just to be able to slow him down to no goals, let alone that entire team, you know what I mean, and just hammer them 4-0, I think it was away 4-0.
4-0 away and 3-0 at home,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Incredible. I think that just goes to show you what level Bayern were at that moment in time.
And it was a tough road to Wembley because before then we faced Juventus and 4-0 on aggregate. And then before that we beat Arsenal. Yeah. And we beat them, I think, 3-0 away. and then they beat us 3-0 at our house. But that's because we took the foot off the gas.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, kind of knew that we had the away goals to go away on the aggregate, so it was kind of like whatever. But one of my buddies is a die-hard Arsenal fan, so it was great to get that one over him, man. Especially when Oliver comes through and scores those free kicks. It's just like
perfect. Yep.
For sure, man. But that was great. And then the final itself in Wembley kind of felt like a little bit of a redemption story. We got to go back to England, even though they won in Germany. We got to go back to England and actually seal the deal against our rivals.
Yeah, Bundesliga matchup. Yeah,
you know, the classicer as they call it. It was nice. It was nice, man. Robben with a nice, smooth little dribbler.
Yeah, very last second. Pretty much last kick of the game. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure people were going absolutely mental. You know, I mean, losing their minds.
It was such a thrill, man. Yeah. I'm happy that I got to experience it.
All right, so next question we are going to get into, and I think I know at least one answer to this question. Just based off the jersey he showed up in, is who has been your favorite players in recent years to come through Bayern?
Yeah. So the person that he's referencing is Thomas Mueller, the space interpreter. That's my guy.
What a player! What a player!
And that's because, you know, we right here. So he's not my favorite player per se, but he's like the most fun player to watch, and he does so many things, little things to help.
Yep.
It's just like the tactical awareness, the attacking position. He's always at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And it's so unorthodox. He looks like your average mailman or something.
Like
you know,
Sunday League, like
right? He looks like a regular dude, but he's just always at the right place at the right time, and he makes the best decisions. He has over 20 assists in the Bundesliga this year.
Yeah, and
like eclipsed Kevin De Bruyne's record from a couple years ago when he played for Wolfsburg. So.
Yeah, and one thing I can say about him definitely is he's gonna show up every day and do his job. Like, he's probably one of the most consistent players in the world.
Yeah.
If you're looking for consistency, I think Thomas Mueller is definitely a name that pops up.
Yeah. Within
that first couple names that you think of.
And just to circle back to just other players that I like in general, I think it's actually a great point when you mention consistency, because when I think of consistency, the first person I think of is Philipp Lahm.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you're talking about
legend. He's a legend.
Captain of Germany, of Bayern Munich, you know, treble winner, World Cup winner, dominated his leagues, never got a red card in his life. That's a crazy stat to me. Right? And you're talking about like almost 20 years of playing.
As a defender to never have a red card in your entire career, that's
played both left back, right back, and then even some midfield towards the end of his career. This guy is like a Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And it's just like, man, nobody wanted it with Lahm one-on-one. Plus his interceptions and everything like that. Just one of the brilliant minds of the game.
So yeah, just some really good players, you know, come through Bayern over the year. Obviously, why they've had so much success in the Bundesliga and the Champions League and also the German Cups. All right, so next thing we're going to get into is Bayern's newest player, all the way from Man City. He is a German, so he is coming back home, Leroy Sané.
Oh yeah, man, I'm super stoked about Leroy Sané. Another speedster with tremendous dribbling skills coming back home.
Yeah, and you know, you get a guy in that team like Leroy Sané when you have, I don't think Lewandowski's age has anything to do with it, obviously, because he has 30 plus goals this year again in the Bundesliga.
51 goals total, 11 in the Champions League, 32 in the Bundesliga.
I don't know if he's coming to the end of his career. I don't know how you feel about that, if he is or if he isn't.
I feel like he's at the end of his peak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and soon it will be time to have him replaced. I see this Leroy Sané signing to actually be also a move for Serge Gnabry into a more centralized role.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and definitely, like, I mean, what a scary thought to think Sané, Gnabry, Coman as a front three. I mean, not many teams have a back line that can keep up with that much pace. Yeah, just getting into, like, basically, I mean, we talked about the future of Bayern a little bit, and I just, as a fan, I think we should go over what you would like to see, and as you know from Bayern in the coming years. Is the German Cup still going on?
We just secured it last week.
Oh, really?
So we won the DFB Pokal, so the double is secured.
Double secured.
Double is
Okay.
secured, so Champions League is the last thing to go. We're going into the August 7th game against Chelsea with a 3 goal advantage at their house. So basically a freebie at home when we start the game, and then we'll see what happens with the Final Four. I hope we do not let our guard down.
That's gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. I would just like to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Being on, the world premiere of Who Do You Support? I think this was a great episode. I will have my social medias as well as Ed's social medias down in the description. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.